Hello, today I want to talk about my trip to Colombia and the power of taking a vacation. And yes, we as entrepreneurs, we need time to reset, to recharge our battery, to trigger creativity, and to think about our future. And we can only do that by getting out of our everyday life and just to see life from a new perspective. So I decided to take a vacation like I usually do every January. And this time I went with my business partner, Cheryl. Anyway, so I like to recount how the trip went and all the experiences that we lived while we were in Colombia. So to begin with, we left what is it, mid-January after the holiday season was ending, when everyone who went away for the holidays, Christmas holiday, came back home to wherever home was. At that time, the ticket prices for airplanes tend to drop, and I see that as an ideal time to buy airplane tickets. At the same time, me as a photographer, well, I take photos of events and weddings and whatever, and there is not that much going on during the month of January. So it's a perfect time for me to just get away. I'm not missing out on any work, and I get to have tickets at a lower price. And this is one of the advantages that we have as self-employed people, that we get to choose to a certain degree when we would like to go out on vacation, and we don't necessarily have to go out on vacation at the same time as everybody else. We can get cheaper tickets. We could be in places that are not so overcrowded, so on and so forth. So we were lucky enough that our neighbor took us to the airport. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was -5 degrees outside, and this is the airplane that we took in order to start flying. This is an Air Transat airplane, and the thing is that our airplane ticket round trip to Montreal, Cartagena, and then on the way back we went Cartagena, Toronto, Montreal. Round trip, it only cost us $700. So imagine that you jump into this tube here, and for $700 it takes you to a place that is 6 hours away and bring you back. To me, this is a miracle of technology. Anyway, so this is the trip that we took. We arrived in Cartagena and we spent a couple of days there. We went to Barranquilla, this is like about 2 hours drive. And then we went to Santa Marta. This is another 2 hours drive. And then we went to a little town called Minca, which I will talk about it in a minute. And then we went and did the trajectory back: Santa Marta, Barranquilla, Cartagena, and Montreal. Okay, so when we arrived in Cartagena, we went to a neighborhood called Gethsemane, and this is a beautiful photo of one of the houses there. Everything is so colorful there. I mean, as you can see, this poor house, the bricks are being exposed, but people paint over it and do whatever they can to make it appealing and beautiful, especially for us tourists, because the town depends very much on tourism. Now, this is in Cartagena. One of the things that Cartagena is famous for is that it's a place with a lot of history. The Spaniards arrived there and they built this castle and this walled city, and that was about 500 years ago. And when you go there, there's colonial houses everywhere, everything. You feel like you actually jump into a time machine and went back 500 years back or so. It's just so representative of the era. But going back to Cartagena, as I mentioned, it's a place that depends very much on tourism. So everything is very colorful. And one thing that astonished me is that after a night of party, these streets are full of people celebrating, dancing, listening to music, drinking, whatever. And the next day, these streets are clean like this. This is amazing because I live in a first world country, Canada, in a beautiful city, Montreal, And no, I get to see a lot of garbage in our city, in our streets. I get to see a lot of people asking for spare change in our streets in Montreal, and here there was no one single person asked me for spare change. So that is amazing. The streets, as you can see, they are amazingly clean. One thing that you will find a lot is you will not find people asking for change, but you will find a lot of people selling things on the streets, like this person here, he's selling fruits, and this is amazing thing as well, fruits. When we buy fruits here in North America, tropical fruits, I mean to say, the way it works is that they are collected, let's say a banana, they are collected from the tree when they are still green, and that banana makes it in the container still green, and then we buy them many times still green, and then they ripen in our kitchen table or whatever, or in the supermarket. Well, here in Colombia, the beautiful thing of being in a tropical country is the mangoes, the bananas, the papayas, they are ripening in the trees, and only when they are ready to eat, I don't know, the salespersons like this one pick it up and sell it. So the taste is so different. It's just, you almost feel like you are eating a different fruit. So this is me. I was eating a mango every day. And my friend Cheryl, she was eating a whole papaya. This is only half a papaya, but she was eating a whole papaya every day. And like I said, these were ripe papayas picked up from the trees. They were just amazing. Now, my friend is vegan. Myself, I follow a plant-based diet, but when I am traveling, I'm not strict about my diet. I eat practically anything. But anyway, so we found a vegan restaurants, and to find vegan restaurants is not that easy, but they do exist, and the canopy of flavors, all these flavors that I have never tasted before, it's just like having fireworks in your mouth. The explosion of textures and smells and flavors is just incredible. Here's just a regular salad that I was eating. These avocados are huge. They are about 3 or 4 times the size of a regular avocado that I buy here. And the taste is also different. This is so sweet, you almost feel like you are eating a candy. And another thing that is peculiar, of course, here we buy water that comes in a plastic bottle. And here in Cartagena, we buy water that comes from a coconut. This is, of course, completely environmental. This biodegrade, and it's just not as polluting as a bottle of water, and it's just delicious and nutritious as well. So this was a great pleasure. I was buying coconuts everywhere, and you know, considering that many places here in North America sells a bottle of water for $1, this coconut came for even less than that. So it's just a great deal. You're helping the environment, and it's cheaper and it's more delicious. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. So here, as I spoke about, the Cartagena, the main attraction is the wall city, and this is one of the main entrances to the wall city. This is called La Torre del Reloj, which means the tower of the clock, and we can see why. There's a huge clock there. And to give you a sense of the thickness of these walls, like you can see from here to here, or to here to this, whatever end, this is about the size of a 2-lane street. So this is how thick that wall is. I don't know what kind of dangers these Spaniards had to face, but yeah, I'm sure these walls can withstand a lot of punishment. So finally came to the end of our stay in Cartagena, and we were going to Barranquilla. Now, if you are a tourist, this will drive you nuts, because the main way of transportation is through these little vans here, and there is a main company that does this. I mean, there are several ones, but I guess this is the better known one. And all of them operate the same thing. They have these minivans. They are Mercedes-Benz vans. very comfortable. They have internet, Wi-Fi in there. There are USB connectors there as well. But the thing is that don't go to their website for information because they don't update their website. So the information that I was seeing was like 2 or 3 years old, and I was just enraged because, of course, I'm a tourist. I don't know, even though I'm from Colombia. I'm used to relying on information that I see on the internet, and it didn't make sense. So I had to go out on the streets and ask people about this van service going from Cartagena to Barranquilla. And the thing is, these vans, they leave every half an hour, but you will not find that information in their website. You will not even find the location of this van service on their website. So you have to ask around, you have to ask the local taxi drivers or the place where you're staying or people in the street. And of course, it's also a good habit to ask 1 or 2 taxi drivers what is the price to go from one place to the other. Because of course, if you're a tourist and there are no meters in their taxis, then they have like a sliding scale, and if you're a tourist, they will charge you a little bit more than if you are a local. So that being said, yeah, these vans, they leave every half an hour, and you just have to ask around where is the location of the van, and just arrive there, buy your ticket there, and there's always place for one more. If not, then they will bring another van and take you to where you want to go. So finally, we arrive in Barranquilla. This is my family. We went to drink and to eat. And in Barranquilla, well, it's not a touristic city. There's not that much to see. There's just building after building after building after building. Maybe the one thing that is fun to do is that there is this place called El Malecón, which is like a broad walk along the river Magdalena. And the river Magdalena is the biggest river in Colombia. And what we do there is there's the river, and then there's the boardwalk, and then there's a whole bunch of restaurants and bistros and bars and coffee shops. And it's just a nice place to go. But other than that, there's not that much to see or to do in Barranquilla other than to go from one restaurant to the other. However, there's a little town close to Barranquilla. It's only about 30 minutes away. It's called Puerto Colombia. And that place is rapidly developing into a nice tourist attraction. And this is one of the things that I found over there. There's all this open space. It's right next to the sea. And this is a lighthouse. This lighthouse is called La Ventana de Sueños, which means the window of dreams. And it's the biggest lighthouse in Colombia. And as you can see, it's a beautiful architectural masterpiece full of colors and, well, windows, as the name is called, La Ventana de Sueños. Yeah, it's a beautiful tourist attraction, and there are boardwalks like this everywhere, full of open space and nice trees, and of course, all that facing the sea. Right here in Puerto Colombia, this is me visiting a friend, and this is his balcony, and then he gets to see the sea every morning. What a lovely spectacle to see the sea every day when you wake up. So I didn't spend that much time in Barranquilla, although it was nice to see my family, say hello to them, have dinner with them, etc. The next stage in our trip was to go to Santa Marta. And then again, Santa Marta, to be honest, there's not that much to see. There's the downtown, which is a colonial-looking houses that are also 400 or 500 years old. It's just nice little area, but other than that, there's not much. And there's a sea, a beach, but it's so over-commercialized. It's full of people selling tickets and stuff that it's just not a relaxing place to go. So we wanted to go to something more touristic, you may say. And if you take a look at this photo, this is a place called Taganga. It's a little town. right next to the sea. And from this photo you will say, wow, what an idyllic place to go and spend a couple of days right next to the sea, so on and so forth. And as you can see, the weather was fantastic as well. This is the sky that we got to see all the time during our stay there. There was not even a single cloud in the sky. The temperature was 25 to 30 degrees. And it was very nice to think that while we were hot, complaining of the heat, people back home in Montreal were at -10. So we just felt happy about that. And here's us again with the beach and the mountains as backdrop. And we came to a place called Playa Grande, which in fact, Playa Grande means big beach. But in reality, it's not that big. I guess it's called Playa Grande in comparison to another beach that is close by that is not as big. So anyway, so Playa Grande in that context seems appropriate, but really it's not that big. But it was a disappointment. It really fell short of our expectation. Why? Because it was overcrowded. It was just, all these people in the water, and there's even a lot more people here in the beach. There's all kind of chairs rented to tourists. There were loudspeakers blasting music, each speaker competing with the other speakers from the other venue, whatever. So it's not a place where you can go with your beach towel, your book, and relax. No, it's just overwhelming noise and just a big crowd and people trying to sell you stuff. And it was just not a pleasant experience. So that was that. That was a whole day there. I mean, it's nice to go and jump in the sea and get wet, but it was not the highlight of our vacation. The highlight of our vacation was when we went to a little town called Minca, which is off the beaten path mountain town. It's just on top of the mountain. And one of the attractions, in fact, is that you can only get there in 4x4 vehicles. If you go with your little, Toyota Camry or Honda Civic, it's just going to get destroyed because there are rocks everywhere, there are brooks, there's quicksand, and only a 4x4 can really make it to the top of that little mountain town. And here's us with our, Toyota, whatever, I think Land Cruiser, and these are my cousins, and yeah, we just went there, and you have to satisfy our human comforts, and then here we found a nice coffee shop. Cheryl was happy because they had vegan cappuccinos, and yeah, that was a great. So we're climbing up the mountain, and there is all these kind of small waterfalls. There are all these resting places here because they are nice and because it's just a steep climb. So they live out of tourism, and this is one way that they can make tourists happy by giving them resting spaces like this. As you can see, the mountains, the water is coming down. This, I guess, I don't know where this water comes from. Maybe it's the humidity, maybe it's the snow on top of the mountain. Who knows? But it's a beautiful scene there to have all this water coming down and people just jumping into the water. It's just, it was just lovely. So I spent some time there, and then this is a hotel. We found a hotel right there in that little town, and this is a hammock. It was a nice resting place with also Wi-Fi, so I was able to, just communicate with my emails or feel like I'm connected while at the same time being in this nice, relaxing place. One drawback, I have to say, is the mosquitoes. And if you notice, my family, all of them, and Cheryl, they all have pants, and I'm the only dumb person that wore shorts, and the mosquitoes really took advantage of me. And I'm still scratching my legs because they really got a piece of me. So that's it. After that, we we went in reverse. We went to Santa Marta, we went to Barranquilla, we went to Cartagena, and this is just my last night at Cartagena. Here I saw a Colombian flag, and I just had to express the gratitude that I feel towards my country for receiving us and giving us such an amazing time. So, first of all, Colombia is a nice place to go if you're considering traveling for vacation. It's safe, it's clean. I really had a good time, and I really recommend it to any one of you who's considering visiting Colombia. And secondly, as a person who is self-employed, I think these vacations are great. You know, it just gives you energy, keeps you motivated, it makes you more productive, it allows you to take life into a different perspective. It kind of put markers in your life. You could say, okay, this is the year that I went to Colombia, this is the year that I went to, I don't know, Portugal, this is the year that I went to Japan. This traveling, if you can afford it, is one thing that you should prioritize in your life. Don't start traveling when you are 60 or 70, when you can no longer move around, when you can no longer climb a mountain. Start traveling as soon as you can afford it. All that, I wonder if you could tell me, where was the last trip that you took? And can you share a little bit of your traveling experience? Did you enjoy yourself? What place do you recommend for me to travel next? That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and talk to you soon. Goodbye.